What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're doing part two of the Dream Team documentary. I'm doing about 10 to 20 seconds before we ended last time. So, yeah, last time I think it was about them trying to get Michael Jordan on the team, and then he was kind of hesitant. So so they decided to get Magic or ask Magic and all of them, and then Jordan decided to do it because he wanted to play against the players. And then they had their practice, something like that, and then everyone was trying to compete against each other because they want to see who's the best. So that's pretty much summing up the part one. So well, let's see. This will be good.
How you doing?
Oh,
How would the 12 stars that were selected play together?
Welcome.
let me turn this up a bit.
Training camp began on June 22nd, 1992, in La Jolla, California. And when the gym doors opened, no one was quite sure what to expect,
All right, sorry.
especially the players themselves.
It's a lot of egos in one gym and on one team. Everybody wanted their form to shine and showcase why they were a part of this team.
With all these stars on the team, if it comes down to the last shot, who's gonna take the shot?
Me.
Everybody in the world has an ego. The only difference between us, we have a reason to have an ego.
Every one of us felt like we was everybody.
And when practice started that first day, every player seemed to be trying to prove just how great they were.
It was a very competitive practice, and I'm thinking, aren't we all on the same team?
Patrick go, I don't want to play with David, I want to play against him. Then you hear Michael say, I don't want to be on Magic's team, I want to play against him.
Every evaluation of Michael Jordan at that time was, he's good, but he's never Magic Johnson. In my competitive nature, I want to use every little bit that I could gather so that I can gain an advantage.
Karl Malone, he's the only guy I would even compare to myself at the power forward position. So I want to prove that I was the best power forward in the world.
Charles. Yeah, he's a great talent. Do I think he's better than me? Hell no. So let's do this. By the time this over with, you're gonna be thinking I'm damn good too.
The first practice, Barkley drives baseline and Karl Malone jumps up like this. Barkley just dunked on him so hard. It was just an unbelievable play. I felt like, man, I cannot believe that I'm part of this practice.
A few days later, the team had a chance to acclimate themselves to playing on the same side. Chuck Daly had scheduled a scrimmage against a select group of college players, a group thrilled to be facing off against their idols.
I found out today I might be picking up Magic a little bit full court, so, things are just happening for me that really makes me happy.
My whole thought
Versus,
process was don't
Dream Team?
embarrass yourself. And that was like the theme for me, like just hang in there.
A lot of those people that I've looked up to, Barkley, Malone, a lot of those people talk confidence, and I think it's going to be a good matchup, There's no advantage on either side.
For the college players, it was a chance to see how they'd match up against the world's best. For Coach Daly, it was an opportunity to get his stars to grow into a single unit.
I think we're somewhere between the mentality of an all-star game and trying to come together as a team. So we've got to continually work on this.
Dude, that would be so awesome playing if you're a college team and you got to play the whole Dream Team. I would literally try to at least make 2 points. That's my whole goal that whole time. And if I did that, I've accomplished something. That would be awesome. I think. I don't know.
And trying to come together as a team. So we've got to continually work on this.
Daly had been hired for his ability to manage personalities and egos. And when the scrimmage began, it became apparent that his players had left one of their biggest weapons, those egos, somewhere else.
The non-fan would think, well, they're going to go in there and they're each going to want their own ball, and Jordan's going to be hogging the ball, and Magic's going to be dribbling all over the place. Point of fact, it was the exact opposite. They overpassed.
It was like, I don't want to start it off. You do it. And before you realize it, the select team was beating us by 10.
We didn't know how to play with each other. We didn't want to step on anybody's toes or hurt any egos. So these young kids, they were killing us.
We were not into it, and we paid for it.
Chris Webber was a man. I thought, boy, that's the guys coming this league. I could get out of here.
Bobby Hurley was dominant.
Chris Webber was a college guy? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Or was he on? Nah, he wasn't on the dream team. Yeah, never mind. He was a college player, right? Chris Webber was pretty good on.
That's the guys coming this league. I could get out of here.
Bobby Hurley was dominant.
I did have some success penetrating and collapsing the defense, and our energy, our excitement to play, all those things played in our favor.
Bobby Hurley didn't play 2 seasons in the NBA. Nevertheless, it did expose the one weakness they could have had, which is defending against quick guards.
They were playing great. Then I noticed that Michael Jordan's not playing.
Why didn't Bob Hurley play more than 2 seasons in the NBA? It seems like as good as they were saying. Maybe they just weren't used to his speed like they were talking about, but like why didn't he play more? Wait.
Then I noticed that Michael Jordan's not playing.
I'm saying something. Chuck, then he said, we're all right. Yeah, we're all right.
That's one of the
Daly
best
watched
coaches,
as his
I think.
players failed to make up the deficit. And in their first taste of outside competition, the Dream Team lost. A story their coach didn't want the press to get their hands on.
I remember Chuck saying, as soon as the game ended and we were getting ready to let media in, it was erase the scoreboard.
The media comes in, scores, if not hundreds. They can sense something. You can feel the tension, or you can feel something in the air.
Well, some of these college players we've just got through playing against probably should be on this team, but they'll get their chance.
The teams posed for a picture together, both not sure what to make of what had just happened. But the man in charge may have had the answer.
He threw the game. You know, Chuck threw the game. If you look how much Jordan played and how he subbed guys in, not picking up, not making any adjustments, he knew what he was doing.
It was legit. It felt tremendous. You know, what we were doing that day, you know, they couldn't stop it.
There are kids who believe in Santa Claus too, and the Easter Bunny, and now that they've grown up, I hate to burst their bubble, but it was a game thrown.
What the heck do they mean by he threw the game? But how? I mean, how would the players not know when they're the ones playing? Wouldn't they just beat them? Weird.
Burst their bubble, but it was a game thrown. Not many people would have done it, and he did it.
It was gratifying to Chuck for us to get our butts beat like that, because now we had to listen to him.
From then on, he had a way of just saying, you know, you could lose.
After fixing his collars and his hair, his speech was, anybody can get beat, so you gotta be ready to play. And I think that's the only speech he ever gave us.
The message got across. I mean, you know, Chuck couldn't have been happier, I'm sure.
It was brilliant on Chuck's part to be able to orchestrate that and play along like he didn't.
Why didn't he tell you guys?
We probably would have screwed it up.
The next day, training camp ended with a rematch against the college kids. And once play started, everything made sense again.
The tables were turned drastically.
Dude,
We showed them why
smart.
we are who we are.
I knew he was a mafia dude, Chuck Daly, because he does that kind of stuff. I knew he was part of the mafia for sure. Just the way he looks, man. And he's doing that kind of stuff. That dude plays edges.
We showed them why we are who we are. We pretty much beat them by 100.
They couldn't score. And by the way, Jordan played a lot more that next scrimmage.
Before the Dream Team could play in the 1992 Olympics, they had to qualify. The place to do that was Portland, Oregon, and the Tournament of the Americas. It would be the public's first chance to see the NBA stars together in a game, especially Jordan, Bird, and Magic.
Great picture right there.
Daly had asked all three to be team captains, but Jordan had turned him down.
I knew how much it meant to both of those guys because they never had the opportunity to play on the Olympics. So I said, you know what, Chuck, don't worry about me. Let these old dogs do it.
Magic and Bird weren't just the team's oldest players. They were also the most revered. They had entered the league together in 1979, embarking on a rivalry that had redefined the NBA. And along the way, their personal admiration for one another had grown.
Magic's just a great basketball player. He's the best I've ever seen, Unbelievable. I don't know what's...
Dude, they're like the definition of, if I'm pausing too much, I'm so sorry. But they're like the definition of there is no black and white, you know what I mean? There's no race. It's pretty dope to see that. And I know someone commented about doing the Courtship of Rivals, said it was like that, about there was no race. It's pretty dope. Did I rewind it already?
Unbelievable. I don't know what to say.
In 1992, they'd be getting the chance to share the ball. But the opportunity would be coming at the end of their careers. Bird had given his soul to the game. But after so many years, his body was betraying him.
Had back problems. It just gets to the point where you just couldn't play. I mean, you couldn't think, couldn't move, couldn't run. If you can't feel your feet, it's hard to run.
Larry was on the fence because of his back, so I said, man, LB, you gotta play, man. You gotta play. This is our last chance to be together.
Magic would be able to convince his old friend to play. But at the start of the 1991-92 NBA season, he was forced to retire after learning he had the HIV virus. Doctors would eventually clear him to play in the Olympics, though that didn't stop fears from swirling.
There's a lot of players that really didn't want him to play, didn't want to play with him or against him, because nobody knew what disease meant. They say you get a little blood on you, you got HIV, or you breathe on you, I never bought any of that, you just keep going.
I understand that completely. When I first pretty much heard about AIDS, well, pretty young actually, but I was the same way. I did not, I heard someone had it in our school, and we thought that if we were even next to him or anything, we would eventually get it from a sweat or playing basketball with him, or drinking, and we actually got enough drink at a party, stuff like that. So I completely understand where they're coming from, but then again, I like what Larry Bird's saying, that he did not care. He knows it's bull crap. So he's at the age where he's wise. You know what I mean? So I was pretty young when I was talking about it.
I never bought any of that. You just keep going. And that's what Irving decided to do, just keep pushing, keep going.
6-5, three-pointer, yes, oh my!
Magic had made a cameo in the 1992 All-Star Game and had focused his attention on the Olympics, hoping for an encore of a lifetime alongside his old rival.
Our careers were really over, and it was something I thought needed to happen for both of us.
Their debut would take place at Portland's Rose Garden, with their team needing to medal in the Tournament of the Americas to qualify for the Olympics. That seemed like a foregone conclusion to just about everyone, including their first opponents, who were completely in awe before the game even started.
Really?
The Cuban team spontaneously drops to its knees as if 12 popes had come by on Easter Sunday. At that point, the idea that this is merely a basketball game has been ripped asunder.
It was a surreal feeling. She's like, dude, we're here to kick y'all behind. And they want to take pictures with you.
Then the game begins. Magic and Larry come out together, two guys that had saved the league. They wouldn't even be playing this game without those two. And Magic passed the ball. Larry makes the first basket.
Banking in, goes to the fadeaway.
I mean, you know, it just didn't get any better than that.
The U.S. was off and running, and the result was a thing of beauty.
Johnson leading the break, finds Robinson.
And no one seemed more excited to be sharing the court than the co-captains.
Bird for three.
Opening night was a smashing success, with the outcome never in doubt.
Bullet from Magic.
And late in the game, the fans in Portland decided they wanted a curtain call from a three-time MVP.
The crowd start cheering, Larry, Larry, Larry.
Crowd reacts to the entrance of Larry Bird. A standing ovation.
There's no other player. Like, it's starting to make me wonder about who the GOAT really is, because they have a whole dream team full of GOAT material people, and the whole crowd is yelling Larry. That, I mean, if that's not evidence enough, like, come on, that's even Michael Jordan's on that team. Jesus.
Reacts to the entrance of Larry Bird. A standing ovation.
And as he'd done so many other times in his career, Larry Bird rose to the occasion.
Jordan with the behind-the-back save. Here's Bird. Yes.
You just knew that Larry Bird was not going to miss that shot.
It was a virtually flawless performance. The final margin of victory was 77 points. And Magic and Bird had led the way. For Magic in particular, after a year out of the game, the victory had a special kind of meaning.
Living with HIV, never even thinking that I would ever have a chance to play basketball again, and then basketball for the United States. It was therapy for me, and I needed that in the worst way.
And then there was the matter of making sure Michael Jordan knew he was back as well.
Yeah, you hear what the captain said? The captain say, sit down, or this boat is gonna sink.
That's right, have a seat, because you're gonna fall, and then that's gonna happen.
That's a seniority right there.
I know, it's
with Magic and Michael, there was that little extra something there, you know, and something kind of to prove to each other.
I took it upon myself to always shoot with Michael. Okay, MJ, free throws today. Who was the first one to 50? Or we had little games, who was the better shooter?
You know what you gotta do. Know what you gotta do.
He didn't want to relinquish that control of the 80s, in a sense, even though we were going into the 90s.
Don't touch the phone. One hand, don't touch it.
He's pretty much playing horse with him.
Don't touch
You know, he just come off missing a whole year. So it was who can win, who's gonna have the bragging rights by the end of this trip.
You can't get too close to Michael, it's a foul. You haven't committed a foul in almost a year and a half, man. How can you talk?
Michael's always tried to let people know that he's the top dog in whatever. That's just his competitive mode.
I'm the young guy with the elder statesman. These old guys, they got arthritis. They can't stand in one spot too long.
He's a young puppy. I'm the big dog here. Whatever I say goes.
While the winner of Magic and Michael's Can You Top This challenge remained in doubt, When it came to facing the competition in the Tournament of the Americas, the team stood united.
When we took the court in Portland, which, we're on home ground, we wanted to showcase to the fans who would be representing them.
The lead is 30. Steele. Jordan.
I'm going to send a message around the world today that y'all can give it up. You foreigners can give it up.
Mullen with the steal. Stockton has Mullen. Goes the other way. Stockton set him up perfectly.
The Americans won their 6 games at the tournament by an average of 50 points.
All right, Larry, your impressions of tonight's.
They literally just whooped everybody. It wasn't even. I don't know. The other teams didn't have a chance. Come on. Like our legends versus legends from overseas is probably still no chance. Like we just had the best legends, I think. There's a couple good ones came up there, but dang, dude. Anyway, that's the end of part 2. Thank y'all for watching. Anyway, peace.